Yo, what the heck is wrong with the power bill? It's almost double this month. You money-sucking shut-in. Now you're sucking up all the electricity too?
What's up? I'm not sure what you mean, Dan.
There's no way that just the two of us spent $200 on electricity last month. How do you even spend that much with just two people? What have you been doing that's been wasting so much electricity?
It's winter. Of course our electricity usage is going to go up. This happens every year. Also, electricity prices went up last November. That's not something I have any control over.
I never heard of any price increases. Where did you see this?
What? Did you not see it on the news? It was a big story. It made local headlines at the time. It had something to do with the prices of coal and natural gas sharply rising.
Come on, Amy. You expect me to believe that?
What? Did I say something wrong?
What does natural gas and coal have to do with anything? You think them going up in price has anything to do with our electricity bill?
The electricity that is provided to us is made using fossil fuels. That's how the local power plant generates it. Basically, if the price of fuel increases, the price of electricity generated from that fuel will increase as well. That's just the economics of it.
Look, I haven't got a clue what you've been rambling on about.
How can you not get it? It isn't that complicated. I think I've explained it pretty clearly. Not understanding is on you.
Okay, let me try and summarize it then. It's a simple matter of you being wasteful which caused our bill to rise this much. You're the homemaker. It's your job to do something about it. Do your job!
Hello? Have you been listening at all?
Have you? I'm telling you, it's your problem to fix. No elaborate explanations are going to change that.
This obstinate attitude of yours is making my head hurt.
You sure it's not hurting because of what went down this morning?
I'm sure it's a contributing factor.
That's my right hook for ya. I got you clean in the kisser. You should have seen the dumb look on your face after. It was frickin' hilarious.
I didn't find it funny at all. And why would you just up and hit me out of the blue? Was there a reason for doing that?
This whole conversation is about the reason. The damn electricity bill was too high last month.
You hit me over a bill?
When I saw the bill, it put me in such a foul mood. So I used you as a punching bag and let a little steam off. Strictly speaking, your spending was the source of my anger, so me getting a little physical with you was just me getting even.
Are you a psycho? You can't just do that to people. You don't even bother apologizing and using some stupid bill as an excuse to hit me. I'm your wife, Dan.
Excuse or not, that's what happened, and that's why I did it. And why should I apologize? A housewife who leeches off her husband has no rights. I own you, so be quiet.
You are such low-life scum, Dan.
What the hell did you call me?
You're more rotten than I ever could have ever imagined.
Right back at you. I never thought you would be so annoying.
I didn't even want to be a stay-at-home wife in the first place. You made me. Please, I'm at my limit. Even if it's part-time, let me work.
Nope, rejected. I formally reject your request.
Why? Just what reason could you have to keep me locked up in here?
It's a simple matter of optics. Have you considered what people would think if you did that?
I don't know if you know this, but people really don't care about you nearly as much as you think they do.
It's always a fight with you. Whatever I say, you have something to say back. Do you know how frustrating that is to deal with? It's maddening. I'm even getting to the point where I'm starting to consider a divorce.
Huh? A divorce? You wouldn't.
You'd like to think that. But you have no one else but me. No parents, no relatives, nobody there for you. If we were to get a divorce, you would be all alone in this world. Is that fine with you? Is that what you want, Amy?
Dan, that's going way too far. I can't believe you would leverage the passing of my parents against me like this.
Well, if you don't like it, then from here on, I want reductions in living and food expenses. Across the board. I want everything reined in to under $200 per month.
That's an impossible task. It can't be done! A meager $200 for 2 grown adults? There's no amount of accounting magic that would make that possible.
Don't worry, it won't be 2 adults. Starting tomorrow, I'll be gone. I'll be away on business for the whole month. So subtract out my expenditures and you'll find that it's more than doable.
That's quite the spur-of-the-moment departure. Your work has never asked this of you before.
I'll leave the promised $200 before I go. Find a way to survive on that till I get back.
That's far too little money. Why are you being so cruel? You're forcing such a restricted lifestyle on me.
It's because you don't fully understand the value of money. You don't appreciate it. I'm doing you a favor, Amy. This will be a valuable experience that you can learn from.
A valuable experience? It's pretty hard to see it that way, Dan.
Man, I'm getting irritated just thinking about it all. If I'm leaving you with 2 Benjamins, I might as well treat myself when I arrive at the job site.
That doesn't even make any sense.
No, I think I've changed my mind. Instead of $200, I'll leave you with divorce papers.
Are you being serious?
As serious as a heart attack.
Was that a yes? You're really going to divorce me?
Good luck surviving the month penniless. If you make it, let's meet again.
My name is Amy. I'm 33 and a housewife. Dan, my husband, was a gentle, kind man while we were dating. But the very moment we got married, he changed. He was the type of guy to shower you with gifts while you were dating, then cut them off completely the moment he got what he wanted. He has been a chauvinistic husband for a while. That's his true color. However, those tendencies have become more and more aggravated in recent months. But living a month with no money... I, who, as a housewife, had no streams of income outside of Dan, found this whole situation completely hopeless. And yet, later, he found a way to put me in an even worse situation. I was truly between a rock and a hard place.
Amy! Are you alive? Are you enjoying being a pauper for a month?
I'm alive. I'm living like normal, spending my days reading, writing, and drawing.
Again, wasting time on those sketches of yours. You've got no talent. You're just wasting your time pursuing such endeavors.
Drawing is a hobby of mine. Having talent doesn't matter at all. The least you could do is let me enjoy my hobbies.
Enjoy them. I'm even jealous, really. You with nothing but time, idly pursuing dreams that will never manifest. All the while I'm slaving away at work.
If you're going to try and guilt trip me like this, at least let me work as well. While we don't have any children, let me work and bring in just a little extra money for us.
Nope, not happening. If you work, what does that say about me? That I don't earn enough money?
Why does this always come down to your pride? I feel more stress and anxiety every day that I live like this.
I hate to spring this on you while you're on the verge of an emotional breakdown and whatnot, but a debt collector will be coming by the place today. You just take care of him for me, okay?
What? A debt collector? Why would someone like that be coming to our place?
He's been chain calling me all morning. It's been a real pain in the butt. I told him you were there and that he could get the money from you. That was the only way to get him to leave me alone.
Why'd send him to me? What am I going to do?
Right. Even when he gets there to collect, it's not like you have anything to pay him with.
So you've just been taking out loans without telling me?
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't think I could keep it a secret any longer, so I'm coming clean. I've been doing a little gambling for a while now. Turns out I'm not very good at it. I've racked up about $10,000 in debt.
How could you? Is this the truth?
Every word of it.
How are you going to pay it off? We already live paycheck to paycheck and you went and stacked gambling debt on top of it?
It'll all work itself out, don't you worry. So long as we're still alive at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Oh, you're an optimist now, are you? I, on the other hand, have to rely on leftovers and nibbles of bread to sustain myself. All I have are worries. How can you possibly be optimistic?
Just be glad you have something to eat. That's doing pretty well for a shut-in.
That's an awful thing to say. That's not doing well at all.
Now that I think about it, don't you have that jewelry you got from your parents? If I remember right, it was a ring and a necklace. Why don't you just sell those and pay the debt with that money?
You can't expect me to do that.
I remember them being pretty expensive looking, so that might just work.
I could never sell those. They were my mother's. I keep them as keepsakes. They're the only thing I have to remember her by.
Well, if you don't do that, then what's the plan? You have to do something. Those collectors they are sending seemed pretty ticked off. I doubt they'll leave empty-handed.
You're already making me live on nothing, and I constantly deal with this splitting headache because of you. And then to put me in this situation. This treatment is simply barbaric.
Your monthly spending money and the debt collectors coming have nothing to do with each other.
It looks like it doesn't even matter what I say. Nothing I say to you will change anything.
I'm sure they'll behave and leave you alone as long as you pay. I wouldn't worry too much. Just run your little self down to the pawn store and fetch them their money.
How can you be so nonchalant about all this trouble you've caused me?
We're married after all. It's only right that you help me in my time of need.
Right, because that's what marriage is for after all.
Give it a couple of weeks and things will calm back down. Either that or you pay what's owed and everything will be settled then and there.
And what if I don't sell my mother's things and refuse to pay the debt?
I'll tell them she's almost 35, but please do whatever you want with her.
And what kind of horrible things would you have them do to me?
I'm sure you can figure it out. Use your imagination. You're a smart girl. So if you don't want that to happen to you, listen to me and do as I say.
That's so wrong.
Well, that's the long and short of it, honey. Good luck handling those scary debt collectors.
I hesitate to imagine that you would do this, but... Did you lie about going on a business trip just so you could avoid these debt collectors?
Yep, that's exactly what I did.
If that's the case, then where are you now?
Now? I'm at work.
I know that much. Don't be smart with me. I'm asking, where are you staying? Where are you going at night to sleep?
Where am I staying? With a lady friend of mine.
Sorry. You're staying with another woman?
Yeah, I was down bad with this one. It was one of those love at first sight situations. And I'll tell you, it was a great choice. I couldn't be happier right now.
And you're just going to announce all that with no remorse whatsoever.
Are you mad, by chance?
Of course I'm mad!
I told you before, didn't I? Wives don't have any rights. Therefore, you also don't have any right to be angry at me. It's just one side, girl. You can overlook that, I'm sure.
Is there just no end to how horrible you are?
Well, now you know the situation. I recommend you pay whatever sum they want. After that, be a good girl and wait for my return home. Later, then. Yo, Amy! What's going on here? The lights aren't working.
Long time no see, Dan. Have you been well?
You finally replied to me. It was saying that you hadn't read any of my messages. And you also wouldn't pick up the phone. I've been through hell trying to get through to you.
Sorry. I've had a ton of things to do. I've been so busy. Things had finally settled down and I wanted to find a quiet place to draw, so I turned off my phone.
It was a frickin' hassle getting you to answer me. And the apartment is pitch black. I can't see anything. What's up with the lights? They weren't turned on.
I did what you wanted. You said to reduce my spending to 0, and so I made sure that the electricity bill would be exactly that. Does that sufficiently answer your question?
No. What do you mean?
I called the power company and had them cancel our contract.
What? Why would you do that?
Because otherwise they charge a minimum payment. So the only way to reach 0 was to cut power completely.
No. That's not reason enough to go and shut the whole line down.
What's wrong? Is this a little inconvenient for you?
Don't mess with me, woman. It's February and we've got an off-season blizzard raging out here. If there's no running power, then I can't use the heater.
If that's your concern, then I made sure to leave a light blanket by the front door.
That thing won't do crap in this cold. And where are you?
Me? I'm at home. Why?
That's a bold-faced lie. Tell the truth.
I am telling you the truth.
Then stop hiding wherever you are and come over here.
Oh, I must have forgotten to mention it. I moved. So while I am at home, I'm not at that home.
Huh? Moved?
I started apartment hunting the day after you told me about the business trip being all a lie.
Apartment hunting? What for?
Well, I can't just live in the same place as some crazy person who punches people for no reason, can I? I did it to protect myself from you.
So this is what the debt collectors meant.
Oh, did they say something?
I told them that you would be here to pay them. Then they were pissed, saying that the house I had sent them to seemed abandoned.
Oh, so that's what happened. It was a pretty quick turnaround from me finding a new place to moving into it.
I thought for sure that you'd be there for me and help me out with this. But thanks to you, they've been on my case every day, threatening me for the past 3 weeks. Do you know how scary that was?
You get what you deserve. It's your debt anyways.
It's not too late. If you were to go now... They said that if the 10K was paid by the end of the day, they wouldn't do anything else to me. Hurry, just get over here.
I refuse. I won't go. I'm not a nice enough person to take on some stranger's debt.
I'm your husband. We're hardly strangers.
I already had our divorce papers processed. We really are just strangers now.
You did what?
I know I was such a burden on you for a long time, but now you're free of me.
Wait, when did you do all of this?
It was exactly 3 weeks ago today.
Then why didn't you say anything at the time? If I knew, then I would have come up with a different plan.
It all started because of that nasty plan to leave me without any money for a whole month. So I decided I was going to be a little mean myself and not tell you.
You have a real twisted personality, you trashy woman. Where did you find the money to do all of this in the first place? A housewife shouldn't have the means to do that.
When I was single and working, I managed to put $30K into my savings. I used that.
You were hiding that much money from me? Hear me out. I promise I'll pay you back. Just lend me $10K to pay off the debt with.
$10K? That's a lot of money to lend to someone. And to you, of all people?
Man, that's a relief. Now I can get those damn collectors off my back. This could have been resolved weeks ago if you would have told me.
I'm definitely not lending you any money. Actually, you are the one who should be paying me money.
And how do you figure that?
Because you're a crazy person who beats his wife and couldn't bother to spend any money so that she could survive. I'll be demanding that you pay me alimony in the divorce proceedings. And don't think it will be a small amount either. I'll have you pay for your abuse as well.
I'll just say you're lying.
Are you serious? I recorded you while you yelled at me and I set cameras to capture you punching me. You really thought you could just deny it?
You can't be serious.
I'm talking to the lawyer and he's looking into your relationship with your girlfriend as well. Looks like I'll be able to sue her too. You two can bond over what you owe me.
Just how far will you go for money, woman? And how long do you think that 30K will even last you? I bet you'll run out and hit rock bottom in no time.
Unlikely. I already secured a source of income for the short term.
What? Gonna go bag groceries? That would be about all you're good for.
That's insulting to all the people who work those jobs. I know because I had a stint at a grocery store while I was in college. It was a lot of work and not at all easy.
So that's it, is it? You really are bagging groceries. That won't get you far. You think that's enough? Just wait till you try and live on that.
Don't get too far ahead of yourself. That's not all. I'm also selling my drawings. They're already doing quite well.
You're doing what now?
All those sketches, as you call them. I put them up online to see if they would sell. And guess what? They did. In fact, they are practically flying off the shelves. I've become somewhat of an overnight success, if I don't say so myself.
Huh? People buy those things?
To be able to do what you love for a living. I really am blessed, I guess. I have a lot to be thankful for.
In that case, forget the 10K. How about just $500? That would be great. You're doing well now, right? It's a small sum for you, I'm sure. I'm down to my last $5 in my wallet right now.
That's sad. Truly. It seems that your finances are rougher than the blizzard out there.
They are. I'm really in a bind. The apartment is freezing, and every time I think of those debt collectors, it makes me sick to my stomach.
Oh, a word of advice. If you're planning to use the toilet, I wouldn't.
Why? What's wrong with it?
Oh, nothing. But there's no water running to the house right now. I canceled that too. And don't think of using the gas either. It's been turned off like everything else.
Really? You're not tricking me here, right?
I'm as serious as a heart attack.
What will I do? I think I'm already at my limit. I can't hold it.
Well, you better run then.
No, I won't make it. It's that bad.
One more thing I forgot to mention. Do you remember how that apartment was originally rented by me in my name? Since I no longer live there, I canceled the lease on it as well. You now have 2 days to vacate it.
Don't try and put me in any worse position. I'm already between a rock and a hard place. I'm curled up here with this blanket trying to wait out this blizzard.
Well, I hate to do this to you while you're at your breaking point, but there's one more thing that I have to tell you.
What now? Spit it out.
I sent the evidence of what you and your cheating partner were doing to both of your companies this afternoon.
Do what?
If that's the straw that breaks the camel's back and gets you fired, I'm real sorry about that.
That's a lie, right?
No lie here. I really did it.
But it's just evidence that we were cheating. There's nothing there that could get me fired.
Oh, I think it's quite plausible that you do get fired. It makes sense since even now, the company's trust in you is on a downward spiral.
Trust in me? What reason would they have to not trust me?
They said that you haven't been showing up for work these past 3 weeks. And with no notice either. After the 3rd day of you not showing up, I got a call from your company.
That's not on me. I couldn't help that, could I? The debt collectors know where I work. If I were to run into them there, it would be the end of me.
Yeah, but not bothering to show up to work for 3 weeks? That's pretty bad. And didn't your boss try and call you a bunch?
And I ignored him, obviously. I had bigger fish to fry at the time.
You really did. You were in quite a predicament. And still are, I think it's fair to say. Anyhow, I did you the favor of explaining to them every detail of your current situation.
What all did you tell them?
That you got hooked on gambling, ended up taking out shady loans, and are now being chased around by debt collectors. Also that you were held up with the women that you were cheating on me with. And that I was completely unaware of any of this.
You're joking, right?
No, I made sure that there were no mistakes in the timeline of events that I presented to them.
You really are a heartless woman. This really might end up getting me fired.
That's the bet you made. Since the lease on the apartment is almost up, you were soon to lose your place of residence. Isn't that right? I had to send the evidence somewhere.
You could have sent it anywhere, even to my parents. There were plenty of options.
Now that you mention it, I guess there were multiple places I could have sent it.
You did it on purpose.
I guess I did.
I can't even think about that now. I need a toilet bad. I can't even sit still, it hurts so bad.
I guess you'll have to crawl your way to the nearby convenience store then. I think I've taken enough of your time. I'm done replying to you for now. See ya!
Damn it!
After that, Dan somehow crawled his way to the convenience store. But he didn't make it in time. So instead, with his remaining $5, he spent $2.50 of it on a change of underwear. And since his pants were soiled as well, he decided to get rid of them too. So instead, he wrapped himself in that blanket and started making his way back to the apartment. On the way back, however, the police stopped him for suspicious activity. They detained him but let him off with a reprimand. News of the arrest apparently made its way to the woman he was cheating with, and eventually that led to the end of that relationship. Dan spent the remaining 2 days left on the lease in a freezing apartment. I heard that he was scared out of his mind at the thought of the debt collectors coming for him. Despite being fired from his work, every month his portion of alimony was deposited into my bank. I figured that he had found something else to do for cash in the meantime. But nobody really knew what happened to him after that, or where he ran off to. Perhaps those scary debt collectors had gotten to him. Maybe they sent him off far away and introduced him to some work there. As for me, commissions started coming in one after the other, and eventually I had a stable stream of income coming in. Even today, I'm stationed at my desk, pen in hand, living life. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. See you next time.
Brandon, I need your help. Megan ran away from home.
Huh?
I don't know what to do. She's not even answering her cell phone. Do you think I should call the police and let them know?
Calm down, Audrey.
Last night she came home a little later than her curfew. We started fighting after I told her to get home on time. I think that's the reason she ran away. She's upset about what I said to her.
I'm already aware of the relationship you two have. It's no surprise this happened.
I recently got a call from her school, too. She apparently hasn't been attending school like she should. And when I took a look into her room, I found a letter that she left on her desk. She said that she's going to live with you from now on.
Megan was really upset when I said I was going to be moving away for work. I've never seen her so troubled as when I told her.
She was always really attached to you ever since she was a child. You two were always close. She must have become overwhelmed when she wasn't able to see you for such a long time.
I know it's not a good time to say this, but you really need to have a better relationship with her. She's still in middle school. We can't have her acting like this when she's still so young.
I know. I'm going to try to do better. I think Megan went toward the city. I don't know how she got so far when she shouldn't have that kind of money to get that far on her own.
Do you think that she was saving up her allowance in order to do this?
I don't know what she was thinking. She doesn't even know where you're staying.
Actually, she learned about where I'm living the other day. She said she wanted to send me a present in the mail, so I let her know my address. I never thought she'd use that knowledge to try and find where I live.
If she has her address, then that's the only place she'd be heading. She's probably on her way as we speak.
I can't have her coming at a time like this. It'd be a problem if she tried coming over while I'm still at work. Can you get in your car and try to track her down? I can't do anything at the moment.
Your daughter is out on the street somewhere, but you're not going to help me?
I can't just tell my bosses that my daughter ran away from home and leave work.
Why not? Wouldn't they understand the situation and let you go?
I can't just bring her to my place. I only have one bed and I don't have what I need to take care of her.
Can't you just book a hotel and let her stay somewhere nearby? It'd at least make sure she's not out wandering the streets. She's gone all this way in order to see you, too. It'd probably be good if you saw her in person. It'd only make things worse if you drove her away in the mental state she's in right now.
But I can't just drop everything in order to make sure she's all right. I have things I have to take care of, too.
This is an emergency! This isn't the time to be arguing about what's convenient and what isn't.
If she shows up at my place right now, there won't be anyone to take care of her. And it's not like where I live is right next to where I work. It'd just be best if you caught up to her and stopped Megan before she starts freaking out when I don't answer the door.
It's not that far from your work, though. Why can't you just head over and do what you can?
I told you, I can't just leave work. Why do you think I went out of my way to move for my work in the first place?
Don't just write me off by telling me you're doing this for her.
It's not like we can have her miss any more school with how many days she's been absent. So what you need to do is chase her down and take her home with you.
So you're not planning on even seeing her? Even after she's gone all this way?
I can't do it. I have too much on my plate at the moment.
Then I better call the police and let them know the situation. That's the best shot I've got. If they can just hold her until I get there, things should be able to go smoothly enough.
You can't do that. Do you know what kind of trouble that would cause us? I don't have time to deal with police calling me in to pick up my daughter. I don't need my boss to question what's going on in my personal life.
Why are you caring about your bosses at a time like this? Don't you understand the situation?
I have an important meeting this afternoon that I can't miss. Please don't let this cause trouble for my work. This job is the only thing that's supporting all of us right now. Don't you care about what would happen if I got in trouble at work?
I know it's not an easy situation, but
We don't need to drag the police into this. We can handle this problem by ourselves. She still has her cell phone, too. This isn't a life or death situation we are talking about.
what if something happens to her?
Look, I'll try giving her a call myself. Just please don't involve the police in this. I don't want to make this into a bigger mess than it already is, Audrey.
All right, if you're so sure about this, I'll keep the police out of this. I'll start heading in her direction right away. I see now that it's no use trying to ask you to take care of this.
I said from the beginning that I couldn't do much, so don't complain. Just get going and find her.
Just do whatever you want. I don't care anymore. I rushed to my car and started heading towards the city, thinking of what way she would have went. During my search, I wasn't able to even once get in contact with Megan. But I thought it wouldn't be too difficult to find a middle school-age girl walking around the city at this time of day. I do think that it would have been good if I had called the police and let them know about the situation. My name is Audrey. I'm 46 years old and I've been married to Brandon for a good amount of time now. About 4 years ago, Brandon got word from his job that he would need to relocate if he wanted to keep his job. Megan, who has always been close to her father, was devastated by the news and cried more than I have ever seen her in my entire life when she heard the news. Both Megan and I have not seen him much ever since then, as due to his work, he is only around during the holidays. And over time, it's taken a toll on my daughter's mental well-being. I knew things weren't the best with Megan recently, but I never would have expected that she would do something so rash. I blame myself for not being as aware as I should have of my daughter's mental state. But for now, the best I can do is find her and make sure that she is safe. After reaching the city, I got a message from Megan. The words that she sent me were so much of a shock to me that I wasn't able to speak. Megan, please look at your phone. I've come all the way out to the city to come get you. Your father is busy with work, so he won't be able to see you until later tonight. I'm sorry, Mom. Megan, where are you right now? I'm in a convenience store close to where Dad lives. Your father can't see you right now because he's busy dealing with his job, okay? Just stay where you are. I'll pick you up right away, so you just stay put for now. When I went to the address he gave me, there was this little girl that answered the door. I've never seen her before. Do you know who she is? Huh? When I asked Dad who she was, he said that she's going to be my younger sister from now on. What are you talking about? I've never heard anything about him having another child. I thought you wouldn't know about this. You would have told me about something like this. Did you talk to your dad? What did he have to say? He was at home when I talked to him. But he told me that he was busy with work and he wouldn't be able to see you. He seemed off when I showed up. He had this look on his face that made me feel like he didn't want me there. I'm sure he was just surprised to see you. There's no way he wouldn't be happy to be able to see you again with how close you guys are. The little girl wasn't the only person that was there besides Dad. There was also this other woman that was there too. She was pregnant and her stomach was really big too. I was only there for a few minutes before he said he had to take her to the hospital and left without saying much. There was another woman? And she wasn't one of his family members either. I'm sorry, Megan. I don't know what's going on. Before he left, he asked me a question that I wasn't expecting, too. He was wondering if I wanted to move in with him from now on. He said that I'm going to have a sister really soon, and that he wanted me to meet her.
and that he wanted to be able to spend more time with me in the future. That it would be fun to live as a family again.
I can't believe it.
But he said that if I wanted that to happen, I had to promise him something. That I'd never tell you what I saw.
So what are you planning to do, Megan? Are you planning to move in and start living with him again?
I would never do that. Not after what I saw. The other woman that was there didn't seem to like me either. She told Dad that she didn't need another brat in the house.
This entire situation is crazy. Who even is that woman to him?
It's not that hard to guess. I'm not a kid anymore, so I can put together what's going on. Dad is cheating on you, isn't he? He went behind your back in order to see someone else. Isn't that what's going on? Doesn't that explain everything?
With what you've told me, I don't see anything else that it could be.
After everything me and Dad have been through, I can't forgive him for doing this.
I'm sorry you had to see this, Megan. I didn't mean for this to happen. You should have never been the one to discover what has been going on. I'm truly sorry you had to get involved. You deserve better than having to go through this.
Why are you the one who is apologizing? You're not the one who is cheating. It's Dad who's at fault.
That's true. But it doesn't change how awful this is.
It's funny. I always wanted to have a brother or a sister that I could talk to and play with. But I never wanted anything like this.
I know how you feel, Megan.
All I wanted was to be loved. To be loved by him. For him to take care of me and cherish me. But after what I saw today, something in me snapped.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Dad doesn't know what's going on yet. I told him that you were going to pick me up and that I would keep my mouth shut. He doesn't know how I truly feel yet.
You didn't yell at him or try to threaten him at all? I thought you'd be furious after what you saw him doing.
Don't get me wrong. I'm so angry that I want to tear him apart for what he's doing. But I can't let him know what I'm truly feeling if I want to be able to get back at him. So he doesn't know a thing about how I plan to make him pay for what he's done to you and me. He's going to regret what he's done.
Are you sure about this?
I don't need him in my life anymore. He deserves what's coming to him.
Megan.
I'm sorry that I worried you, Mom. It was hard for me when I wasn't able to see him for so long. So I started saving up my allowance in order to be able to see him. I thought I'd surprise him and that he'd be so happy to be able to see me again.
Just please don't try to do this again in the future. It's not good for you to miss school when you've been falling a bit behind as it is. I've been worried that you wouldn't be able to catch up.
After we fought yesterday, I decided that I've had enough of you and that if I went to go see Dad, everything would get better. I'm sorry I worried you so much.
That doesn't matter. I'm just glad you're safe and that we talked this out.
After what happened today, I realized that you've been trying harder to take care of me than I've given you credit for. I'm going to try to do better. And when I start high school, I'll start working part-time to help you. Let's try and work things out so we can both live happily together.
I'm furious that your father would go as far as cheating on me and cutting us out of his life. I'm just as upset at him as you are. It's unforgivable what he did today, and we're going to make him pay for what he did.
Give that dirty cheater what he deserves, Mom.
I'll take care of everything, Megan. You can count on me to put the situation to rest.
Are you sure you can handle this on your own?
Don't worry about it. How about we pick up some lunch on the way back after I pick you up? I haven't eaten anything since yesterday, so I'm starved.
Let's do it. I'm hungry too from walking all over town.
I've been called into work suddenly, so I'm not going to make it home until tomorrow.
To which home are you returning to?
What are you talking about? Isn't it obvious what I'm talking about?
You tell me. You never know what you can be up to.
Look, I don't have time for games like this. I've got my hands full with having to deal with work.
I bet you are. It must be difficult to have to live a double life.
Aw.
Just so you know, Megan and I have moved out of the house. It was too big for just the both of us, so we decided that it would be best if we found somewhere more fitting for us to live.
What do you think you're doing? You can't just do that without my permission.
What's the big deal? It's not like you don't already have somewhere else to live. Not to mention that you already have gotten comfortable seeing that you've found someone else to move in with you.
You're joking. You mean that Megan snitched on me and told you?
You thought that she'd keep quiet after everything she saw?
But she said that she would keep it a secret from you. Why would she tell you after saying that?
It was all part of her plan. She always was going to tell me.
But she said that she wanted to move in with me again. Why would she suddenly turn on me after everything?
Because she sees now what you've become. She doesn't want to deal with you anymore. It was hard enough for her to tell me in the first place, let alone betray the person she thought cared about her.
Just let me head over and I'll explain everything, okay?
You're not coming over, Brandon. There's nothing to discuss. I've already hired a private detective and gathered all the information I need on the situation. There's nothing that I need from you. He's kept tabs on you for the last month and given me more than enough information to know what I need to do.
You really went out of your way and hired a detective? Do you even have the kind of money for that?
There are more important things in life than having money. I needed to find a way to finally put you behind both me and Megan so we can move on with our lives. Plus, isn't it rather expensive to have to take care of two families on only one paycheck?
But how were you even able to afford it in the first place?
Your father helped us. He pitched in some funds so we could afford it.
You told my father about everything.
That isn't the only person I let know what you've been doing, Brandon. I've reached out to your parents, your friends. I even got in touch with some of the people at your job. I've let everyone that I can know about what you've been doing behind the scenes.
What?
How could I not tell them about your 3-year-old daughter and the daughter you are about to have? It'd be such a shame if so few people knew about the exciting additions that are coming into your life. Who wouldn't want to tell everyone about how you're a father of so many children?
What is this? Some kind of revenge? Why would you let my work know about this? I'm supposed to be a respected professional at the job I work at. How am I supposed to go into work tomorrow if everyone knows about this?
I'm sure everything will be fine if you just give them that stupid, nervous smile of yours. It left quite the impression on Megan.
This isn't something you can just joke about. What about if I want to get promoted? How are they going to promote me now when they know about this?
I wouldn't worry too much about it. When I told them about it, they said they would be talking with you about it shortly. Didn't you wonder why your bosses called you into work so suddenly?
Oh my God.
Do you know what it means to be a professional? It means that you're loyal to the ones who rely on you and that you don't do something so cruel as to cheat on them. I'm sure your work isn't going to go easy on you when they talk in depth with you about what you've done.
Can't you understand that I had things going on too? What happened wasn't my fault.
To cheat to the extent that you've already made 2 children, what kind of things did you have going on? Don't try and make excuses for cheating.
Do you realize what you've done? I had everything planned out for me. I was this close to finally being able to get a promotion and to finally be done working in the city offices. But thanks to you, all of that was for nothing.
You really planned to just leave behind the family you had created during your time there?
That's...
To think that you'd cheat for 4 whole years only to just leave them for dead after your work was done. You're the worst.
How do you know that?
I know everything you've been up to, Brandon. I even got in touch with the bartender at your favorite bar.
You really went that far and talked to her?
After telling her everything that was going on in your life, you threatened her to not tell a soul or you'd end her. Now that isn't a very nice way to treat your bartender.
You really think you can trust a hag like her?
What's funny is that even though you threatened to take away her life if she told on you In the end, the one whose life is over is yours.
You don't have to do this. I'll just continue what I've been doing up to now if you give me the chance.
Give you the chance? Why would I do that?
You just need to pretend that you never heard about any of this. If you can just keep up the act, I can keep paying for everything if you just let me.
Why would you want to do that? Wouldn't it be easier for you if we were just out of the picture? And if you only had to pay for one family instead of two, wouldn't it be easier on your wallet as well?
My boss's wife is already rather fond of you. She wouldn't like it if she heard about what happened.
You're talking about your supervisor, Ginny, right? That nice older lady that I met at your work's end of the year party. It was fun being able to talk to her, but I don't know what this has to do with anything.
Every time she talks to me, she goes on about how nice you were to her and how I'd better not lose you. I've heard it so many times from her that I've lost count. If she even found out that you and I were divorcing, she'd never let me live it down. She wouldn't respect me after knowing I lost you. She holds herself and those around her to really high standards. Her family's big into church and that. She'd know that I have to have done something unforgivable for you to divorce me.
So that's why you're so worried? Because you'll lose respect at your job? You don't have to worry about it, though. Ginny already has heard about everything. You should have seen how upset she was.
You met with Ginny?
Don't you remember how I told your work? How would I forget to tell her about it?
Oh my God.
You've also been using company funds to pay for things, too. Taking your second family to places that wouldn't seem conspicuous and writing it off as company expenses. You've really been busy using the people around you.
This is unbelievable.
Don't you know that embezzlement is illegal? You're as good as fired. That's why your work is meeting with you.
Why did this have to happen? My God. I can't take any more of this.
Don't pretend to be the victim here. You're the one who's betrayed those around you.
Huh?
It's ridiculous for you to act this way when you're the one at fault.
What did you say?
After talking with you, I can see that you aren't sorry for anything you've done. You aren't sorry about hurting Megan or for stealing company funds. Don't you even care about your own daughter?
But she seemed happy when she heard about having new sisters.
You worthless blockhead! She was holding back with all she could to not scream at you! She only did it to give me time to serve justice for what you did.
Huh?
She contacted me soon after she was done talking with you. When I picked her up at a convenience store, she looked like she had been crying for the last half an hour. I've never seen her with a more hurt look on her face. Can you imagine how hard all of this is on her? Making a 13-year-old girl have to pretend like that so I can clean up your mess. How dare you break the heart of your own daughter?
I didn't want that to happen.
After we moved out, she's been a great help around the house recently. But the worst part about this entire thing is having to hear her cry in her room. With how much smaller our new house is, she hardly has space to be alone with her own thoughts.
I understand. I'll apologize to her.
That's not going to happen. You're never going to see her again. I'm not going to force her to remember how much she used to care about you. If you really care about her, you won't try anything and leave her alone.
But what if she gets married? Am I allowed to show up?
You were really planning on showing up to that, you insensitive pig.
You can't just cut me out of that.
If you really cared about us, you would have taken better care of both of us and never have cheated. What is happening is on you.
I've heard enough of this.
Excuse me?
I've had enough. I already have another family. I don't need you guys anymore.
What is wrong with you?
You think getting me fired will hold me down? Good luck with that. With how much skill I have, getting another job will be a piece of cake.
We'll just see about that, won't we?
In the end, you'll be the ones who'll be worse off. Not me.
Well then, good luck with your new family. Soon after, Brandon was called into work in order to have a talk with his bosses. But Brandon already had a good idea of what was going to happen and decided that he didn't want to deal with any of it. He didn't ever go back to work or even show up for the meeting they called him in for. He simply mailed his sloppily written resignation and left his job without another word. He wasn't getting off that easy, though. His company contacted the police to inform them about the money he had embezzled from the company. He was arrested soon after and was fined $40,000 for the money that he stole. And that's on top of the child support he's going to have to pay me for leaving behind me and Megan. Which is funny because he's going to have to pay for his new family and his old one at the same time. It's not looking good for him, to say the least. His troubles aren't even over yet. His cheating partner wasn't happy to hear how he was fired and arrested. Hearing that Brandon would be paying me for child support sent her into a fit. She only wanted to rely on Brandon for his money and for the excitement that he brought to her life. She never intended to stick around for when things got difficult. She must have figured out that he also planned to abandon them after he moved work locations. So she soon left him too, and now Brandon has to pay her child support on top of mine. He's currently dealing with trying to find a new job after being promptly fired from his old one. But at the moment, he's just getting by through working long shifts at local factories. He doesn't know that me and Ginny have been letting local companies know what he's done. Recently, I haven't been hearing Megan cry in her room anymore. Until she's ready to move out and begin her own life, I plan to keep supporting her the best way that I can as her mom. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. See you next time.
Hey, Sean. I just got out of my doctor's appointment. The baby is doing really well. A bit on the small side, but she was moving around a lot during the ultrasound.
That's good for you.
What's wrong with you? I'm talking about our baby. Why do you always seem so uninterested when I talk about her?
Well, you should know by now that I've never liked kids. How do you expect me to show any interest in something I don't even like?
Because we decided to have this baby together. That's why. And we discussed all of this before we started to try getting pregnant. And we both agreed that we want this baby.
I don't exactly remember having any say in the decision, to be honest. You already had your mind made up even before we started talking about it.
Don't be silly. This isn't any kind of matter that should be taken lightly. I asked you very seriously to tell me what you thought about starting a family. Especially because you dislike children so much. I was even willing to give up my dream of becoming a mother, if that's what you preferred. But in the end, you said that maybe having one child might make your life that much more worthwhile. And you agreed that you wanted to see yourself become a father as well.
I only said that because it was the appropriate thing to do. You know, I have to keep up appearances for everyone's sake. But that's not to say that there was any bit of truth behind those words.
How could you even say such a thing?
Are we finished here? I have to get back to work now.
But this is more important. My due date is next month and you haven't told me yet whether you're planning to be in the delivery room with me or not. I need to inform the hospital if you're going to be there for the delivery. So I was hoping that you would make up your mind already.
Ew. Do I really need to be in the delivery room with you? You know that I'm not really good with blood and stuff.
Well, I would feel less anxious if you were there as well. I mean, giving birth isn't exactly an easy task. And it could be a pretty long process, too, depending on how long the labor is. I just don't want to be all alone during that time.
Fine, I get it. Then let me call my mom to see if she can accompany you to the hospital when that time comes.
You're going to ask your mother to stand in for you for the delivery?
Yeah, and that way you won't be all alone. Besides, she's given birth herself, so she's much more familiar with the whole process than me. I would be totally clueless, so wouldn't you feel better to have someone there who's actually experienced a baby's birth?
That's not really the issue here. It's more so that I wanted you there for moral support.
I'm trying to make all of these suggestions so that you feel more comfortable about giving birth. But all you only come back with is more and more complaints. What more do you want from me?
I just thought that you would be as excited to meet this baby as I am, And it makes me sad that I'm the only one seriously thinking about what it means to become parents.
Oh, don't act like such a spoiled brat.
But it's true! You hardly come home in the evenings lately, and I can't even remember the last time you asked me about how the baby is doing. You don't even seem interested in my growing belly, and it just makes me really anxious and worried about how things are going to be when the baby is born.
So what are you trying to say? That I'm the bad guy here because I've been working late hours and putting in as much overtime as I can, just so I can provide a comfortable living for my family? I'm doing all of this for us.
I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong.
Well then, you could at least show some appreciation from time to time, you know? I don't get to lay around all day absorbed in my hobby all day like you.
I'm not just doing this as a hobby all day. Sure, it's something that I enjoy, but I design and make these clothes so that I can sell them online. How many times do I have to explain this to you? This is how I've been earning my money for the past 7 years.
You don't even make anywhere near what I earn from my job, so don't talk like you're making some major contribution to our household income.
There's no reason to insult my job like that.
Well, why do you think that we can even afford this house in the first place? And we're able to keep up a pretty good lifestyle, don't you think? It's because of what I earn from my job working those long hours. In any sense, who do you think you are messaging me in the middle of the workday with this kind of nonsense? I don't have time to be comforting you about every little ridiculous worry that you have. The next time you message me like this for nothing, I'm going to ignore you completely. Maybe next time you should think about whether it's something worth bothering your busy husband about during his workday before you send a message. But if you were a clever wife, that's what you would have done from the beginning.
I'm not trying to bother you with ridiculous complaints. I'm just feeling really anxious about this baby and just need some comforting words from you from time to time. That's all.
Oh, I get it. That's probably because of that disorder that pregnant women get.
What disorder are you talking about?
You know, how some women experience extreme anxiety and fatigue during their pregnancy. I remember that one of my colleagues at work was talking about it before.
Are you talking about prenatal depression?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm pretty sure that it's not because of prenatal depression that I'm having these worries, though.
Well, either way, it's something that all pregnant women experience because having a baby changes everything. So stop complaining and just deal with it until the baby comes, because that's what everyone else does. And once the baby is born, you'll be so busy that you probably won't even have the time to be worrying about every little detail like this. It's just one more month until the baby is born, right? Like I said before, I don't have the time to be comforting you over every little minor breakdown that you have. How do you expect yourself to take care of a newborn baby when you're hardly able to manage your own moods?
I don't have a breakdown over every little thing, and I think it's pretty normal to be worried. And I've never asked you to comfort me about these things, but I do wish that you would at least show some compassion, or maybe some effort about your role as a father.
Sure. There's still time, so there's no point worrying about that now. Anyways, I have to meet my client for a meeting soon, so don't message me anymore unless it's something really important, okay? Goodbye.
My name is Vicky. I'm currently 32 years old and in my last month of pregnancy with my first child. My husband, Sean, is 3 years older than me, and we met as colleagues when I was still working a corporate job. I found him really attractive from the beginning and was drawn to his kind and outgoing personality, so I was really happy when he asked me out and we started dating. And then, when he asked me to marry him, I felt like the luckiest girl alive. He wanted me to stay at home full-time, though, so I gave in my resignation right after we got married. But right after that, his attitude towards me completely changed. Suddenly, he treated me as if I was worthless because I was no longer earning an income, and started insulting me for doing nothing at home. It became pretty obvious that he thought he was better than me for being the breadwinner in our household, and he became more and more demanding with time. Even in my 35th week of pregnancy right now, he still shows no sign of treating me with any respect or kindness. I feel so worried about bringing an innocent baby into such an environment, and can hardly sleep at night because of my anxiety. How can I possibly raise this baby with such an uncooperative husband? And whenever I try to share my feelings with him, he just uses his job as an excuse for not having any time to listen to my worries. In fact, he even went so far as to say this to me a week later. I just went for my weekly checkup at the OBGYN, and the doctor told me that I need to be hospitalized right away. Can you get here soon?
I'm in the middle of a meeting, so I don't think so.
Isn't there any way that you can get out of it? It's a pretty serious situation.
I just texted my mom and she said that she'll be right over. Can you send me the hospital address so that I can let her know?
What?
I'm visiting a client's office out of state right now, so there's nothing I can really do. Can't you guys manage somehow between the two of you?
You didn't even ask what's going on. Aren't you even the least bit worried?
Oh, please. I'm sure that everything is fine. You're not due until next month. Don't be such an attention seeker, because I really don't have time for these kinds of games.
Well, I think most husbands would be worried about the baby's well-being if he heard that his pregnant wife needs to be hospitalized in an emergency.
How many times do I have to tell you that I don't like kids? And that includes unborn babies as well.
You jerk! That's such a terrible thing to say!
Oh, and it turns out that this client visit isn't just going to end with this meeting. My boss wants me to stay on for a 5-day business trip, so I won't be home until next weekend. Anyways, my mom can take care of everything that you need while you're hospitalized, so you'll be okay, right? Don't worry, I'll call her myself and explain what's going on, so just leave all of that up to me.
And your mom is completely okay with this situation? The way you're leaving your pregnant wife in the hospital because you're away on business doesn't sound like the right thing to do.
I guess not, but I put on a good face in front of my parents and relatives, so they never question my integrity. Here, take a look at my conversation with my mom. Don't you think that I do a really good job of making myself sound like a really caring and appealing husband?
That sounds nothing like the real you.
I know, but she believes me, so that's what counts. You see how I told her how worried I am about you and the baby, and how much I want to rush to the hospital to be with you? I just told her exactly what she wants to hear. A little dramatic phrase here and there, and she totally believed me. She's so gullible, don't you think?
But it's all a lie. You didn't even express any bit of concern for me or the baby when I told you about being hospitalized.
Yeah, but it's my mom. She has no reason to question what I tell her, because of the trust we have as family. So of course she'll believe everything I say.
You're nothing but a double-faced jerk. You only put up a good front outside the home, and I totally fell for it when we got married. I wish I could go back in time and kick some sense into myself before making such a huge mistake. I can't believe how naive and stupid I was.
Well, if you're as fed up with me as you say, why don't we get a divorce?
What are you talking about?
To be honest, this isn't the first time that it's crossed my mind. I mean, I basically work myself into the ground so that I can provide a comfortable life for us. But it's not like you show any gratitude or respect towards everything that I do. And lately, you just spend all day in sweats and a hoodie, resting because you feel tired all the time.
Why are you bringing this up now? I'm a few weeks away from giving birth to our baby. Of course I'm tired and sluggish. I have this huge belly to carry around with me all the time.
Oh, and speaking of your pregnancy, don't you think that you've been acting really distant towards me since you found out that you were pregnant? I don't know if it's intentional, but you're definitely not as affectionate as you used to be. Anyways, you know what? I think it just makes sense for us to get divorced now.
You're kidding, right? You really couldn't have come up with a better time to discuss this?
I'm bringing it up because of this timing. You're in the hospital because of some complication, right? So if the baby doesn't survive, then I won't even have any obligation to pay child support. If there's a child in the picture, it'll just make things more difficult. So I'm glad that it'll be a clean-cut divorce process now.
What do you mean by that? You're actually relieved that there's a chance our baby doesn't make it?
You know it's true, though. Anyways, I even contacted a divorce lawyer and went for an initial consultation before. You'll find his contact in the top drawer of my desk in the den. Can you get in touch with him when you get discharged from the hospital? He should already have a draft of the divorce papers ready. Let me know if anything else comes up in the meantime, okay? See ya!
Wait! Don't you dare hang up! We're not done with our conversation yet! I was finally discharged from the hospital this morning and just got back home.
Good for you. So you'll take care of the divorce papers like we discussed, right?
I just went through your desk drawer and found the business card for the divorce lawyer. I still can't believe that you actually met with him already.
What, you thought that I was lying about it? No way. This is my chance to finally get away from all your nagging for good. I feel like a new man already. You have no idea how much your constant complaining was weighing down on me.
What's wrong with you? Marrying you has been the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. I absolutely regret wasting all the years we spent together.
At least that's one thing that we can agree on. I totally feel the same way. But what a pathetic ending for you, though, huh?
What do you mean?
Well, you lost the baby because you tripped and fell down some stairs, right? You've always been a bit clumsy, but you must be feeling really miserable about what happened. I'm just glad that there won't be any custody issues or child support involved in our divorce discussions, since there's no baby anymore.
I never said anything to you about falling down any stairs, though.
I know, but my mom told me everything, so I know what happened. You at least explained to her why you were hospitalized, right? I mean, she was there every day looking after you.
Yes, but I didn't fall.
What do you mean?
I never fell down any stairs, you moron!
Then why did you end up in the hospital in the first place?
The doctor found low amniotic fluid levels when she did the sonogram during my checkup. She wanted to make sure that I didn't go into premature labor, so that's why I had to be hospitalized right away.
What?
They were monitoring my fluid levels, but they were worried that it was putting stress on the baby, so I had to have an emergency C-section. The baby came earlier than expected, and she was really tiny and in critical condition when the doctors delivered her. That's why I called you that day, asking you to come to the hospital.
I had no idea. So, what happened to the baby?
She made it through. We were all surprised by how strongly she held on. But it doesn't change the fact that she was born prematurely. So even though I've already been discharged, the baby is still in the NICU for monitoring.
I don't understand, though.
Oh my gosh!
What is it?
I was just going to go upstairs to our bedroom, but there's a lifeless body that's lying in the middle of the staircase. Who is she? And what is she doing here?
What?
She looks like she's in her 20s, with long brown hair, wavy towards the ends. She has pale skin and really big eyes. She looks like a porcelain doll. She must come from a really well-off family. Do you know anyone that looks like this?
Marianne? But it can't be, because she's been on vacation with me for the past 5 days. There's no way that she would be lying dead in our home. Who the heck is that woman?
Oops. Look who spilled the beans.
Huh? What do you mean?
Did you actually think that I would be texting you that there was a dead woman in our house? As if I had all the time in the world? So let's hear the rest of the story. Who's Marianne? And what do you mean that you were taking a vacation with her?
Wait, that was just a mistake. My phone just autocorrected to Marianne, but I don't know anyone of that name. You have to believe me.
You're ridiculous. I just tried to trick you by telling a small lie. But I never thought that you would fall for it completely, and even go so far as to admit the name of your lover.
I told you that it was a mistake, and it's nothing like that.
Oh, and you better pay me back for the mannequin that you completely destroyed.
What are you talking about?
Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. You shoved that mannequin down the stairs thinking that it was me. I still can't believe how you could do such a terrible thing.
Wait, but let me explain.
What is there to explain? Perhaps now might be the right time to start panicking, because there's no use trying to deny the truth. After you pushed the mannequin, which you thought was me, down the stairs, you made sure that it was completely still before you walked right past it so you can start packing for your so-called business trip. You seemed surprisingly calm as you were getting ready to leave, after you had supposedly harmed your pregnant wife. Why are you suddenly getting so worked up over this?
I'm just confused right now because you're bombarding me with all this nonsense.
What nonsense are you talking about? You know how I was using the extra bedroom right next to the second floor landing as my workroom? I happened to be cleaning out the room that day and left the mannequin outside on the landing.
I didn't even know you had such a thing.
And it wasn't just any kind of mannequin. It was specially designed to fit maternity clothing, so the belly was rounded like a woman in their last trimester of pregnancy. Oh, and it's also made with actual joints, so the proportions and movements are really human-like. So I guess that when you pushed it down the stairs, the mannequin body collapsed like a real human. So you didn't even realize that it actually wasn't me.
This is just a joke, right?
I just purchased it recently, too, so that I can design maternity wear for pregnant women like me. Just so you know, it had to be custom made, so it cost me over $1,000. And you better pay me back for every penny.
But how do you even know that it was me who pushed it down the stairs? It's not like you have any proof.
You're still gonna try and deny the truth? After everything I told you about what I already know?
Well, where's the proof then? Show me what you have. Unless you're just making this all up.
As a matter of fact, I have a video of the exact moment that you knocked the mannequin down the stairs. And what you said right afterwards. In case you don't remember, it was something along the lines of you being glad about finally getting rid of me. Everything is recorded, so you can see for yourself.
You were spying on me.
Like I said, I was cleaning out the bedroom when I heard some noise by the staircase. I stuck my head out into the hallway to see what it was, and that's when I saw you. It confused me to find you at home, because you should have been at work by that time. But something told me that I should get my phone out, because it just didn't feel right. And boy, am I glad I listened to my gut instinct.
But I was able to get into the house without you noticing.
I'm usually holed up in my workroom during the day, so you probably just assumed that I wouldn't notice. And I probably wouldn't have, except you made such a big commotion. Now, why don't you tell me the real reason why you attempted to throw me down the stairs?
Well, you've been really distant towards me and treating me as if I don't even exist ever since you found out about your pregnancy. And I didn't like that this unborn baby was taking priority over me. It was as if I no longer mattered to you anymore. So I considered getting a divorce and even went so far as to contact a lawyer about it. But then I realized that if we were to get divorced now, I would have to pay child support, which is the last thing I want to be responsible for.
If it really was me who fell down the stairs, like you intended, you certainly would have harmed the baby. But I would have been seriously injured at the same time, too. Did you even consider that? I'm completely disappointed in you, not only as the father of our baby, but as a human being as well. What have you done with your morals? If you even had any to begin with.
Don't try and put all the blame on me. You have no idea how stressed I was about everything. I was at my wit's end. But it's like you never had the time to sit and talk like you used to.
Oh, I see. So that gives you enough reason to push your wife down the stairs and leave her behind while you go on a vacation with your lover?
It's not what you think. She's not my lover.
Who are you trying to fool? You said yourself that you were taking a vacation with some girl named Marianne the past 5 days.
No, you probably just misunderstood. Marianne is one of our assistants at work, and she was just accompanying me on my business trip. That's all.
So are you saying that you confused your business trip for a vacation earlier? It's also funny, because you said earlier that your phone auto-corrected to Marianne, who you didn't even know. But now you're saying that she's one of the assistants from your office. You just have an endless supply of lame excuses, don't you? So, which is the truth?
There's just too much happening at once, so you can't blame me for being upset. I got confused about some of the facts, okay? Marianne is one of our assistants. That's the truth.
Well, maybe you should know then, that I have proof of your affair. And not only that, I have a pretty good idea about who this Marianne is. I know what she looks like, too. When I tried to trick you earlier and describe the so-called woman who was lying dead at the bottom of our stairs, that's what Marianne looks like, right?
I bet you have no idea what you're talking about. You're just pulling nonsense out of your back pocket. Don't think that I'm going to fall for your ridiculous games again.
Games? You must be the only player involved because I have no idea what you're talking about. On the other hand, you've been coming home later and later from work ever since I gave you the news about my pregnancy. And you even work on weekends these days, which you've always refused to do ever since we were dating. In fact, I found this sudden change in your work habit a bit strange, so I hired a private investigator to follow you.
Stop bluffing.
If you still don't believe me, I can send you a photo of the two of you walking hand in hand as you checked out of a hotel together.
You weren't joking?
You had an account on several dating apps, pretending to be a bachelor, right? I have the report right here, so I can tell you everything I know if you want. You met Marianne on one of those apps and started dating her.
Well, that's not exactly...
And it also states in this report that she even introduced you to her parents. Her father is the CEO of some company, right? What were you thinking? That you could trick her into marrying you or something? Well, it turns out that you didn't actually get rid of me, which probably was an unexpected surprise for you. So I guess your entire plan of trying to get a part of her family's wealth was all for nothing.
How do you know all of that?
I hired one of the best private investigators in town and paid a hefty fee to get a thorough report on you. It put me back a few $1,000s, but what he gave me was well worth the expense.
What a waste. And for something so ridiculous. How could you spend my hard-earned money so carelessly like that?
Oh, don't worry. I didn't touch a single penny of the money that you earned. I paid for it all with my own money.
Yeah, right. There's no way that you earn enough with your hobby to afford such an expensive investigator. You said that it cost a few $1,000s, right?
Well, just so you know, I made more than $7,000 last month.
7,000? Did you put an extra zero in there by mistake or something?
Nope, there's no mistake. I'll even spell it out for you then. I made $7,000 last month.
You're just making that up.
Do you really think that I would lie to you in this situation? You're more of a bigger fool than I thought.
But that's more than twice what I make in a month.
How else did you think that the bank approved our mortgage for this house?
We applied for the mortgage under my name, though.
Initially, yes. But you got denied because of your credentials, remember? So we reapplied for the loan under my name, which thankfully got approved. And I've been making the monthly mortgage payments ever since.
What? How come you never told me that?
I told you. Except you were on your phone the whole time, so I don't think that you even heard half of what I was saying, let alone remember any of the small details of our one-sided conversation.
So what you're saying is that the house belongs to you?
Exactly! I'm glad that we're finally starting to see things eye to eye. Once our divorce goes through, you'll be moving out of the house right away.
Just wait a second. You can't just kick me out like that. Where am I supposed to live?
That's really not my problem anymore. And because of the circumstances that led to our divorce in the first place, there's no room for disagreement when I end up with the better settlement, right? I'll make sure that you end up paying for your infidelity. Oh, and I plan on getting in touch with your so-called girlfriend as well.
No, please. She doesn't need to know anything about this.
Be quiet. You have no right to tell me what to do.
But you have to give me a chance to at least make this up to you.
Don't be ridiculous. Your intention was to get rid of me and the baby for good, just so you can be with your rich girlfriend. You already had your chance, but you only proved that you were just a selfish and backstabbing pea-brain. Oh, but the one saving grace out of this whole situation is that you arranged for your mother to accompany me to the hospital. And I'm certainly grateful that you did at least that.
Well, it was the obvious thing to do since my mother is experienced with childbirth. Wasn't she able to help you during the delivery, like I said?
Of course, but that's not the only reason why. I had collected quite a bit of proof about your affair, which I was able to show her directly. In addition to that video of you pushing my mannequin down the stairs, thinking that it was me.
You showed her everything?
Obviously. What else would I do with all of that information? As a matter of fact, I plan on sharing everything with everyone on your side of the family soon. I'm interested to see what they have to say about this situation.
What do you mean by everyone?
Your mother was kind enough to get in touch with all of your relatives and ask them to come over here right away. It's only a matter of time before they arrive. I can't thank her enough for everything she's done. I'm so glad that she stood by me this whole time.
I'm sorry for everything I've done. Please, you have to forgive me.
It's long past the time for an apology. And such a lame one of all kinds.
I promise that I'll make every effort to be a good father to our baby. And I'll prove to you that I'm no longer the selfish, arrogant fool that I used to be. You'll see that I'm a changed man now. So you have to reconsider the divorce.
Didn't you hear me the first time? It's too late to reconsider anything. I've already decided that I'm going through with a divorce, and nothing will change my mind about it. I have the financial means to raise this baby on my own, so there's no reason for me to keep you around anymore.
But what about me? What am I supposed to do from now on? There's no doubt that Marianne will break up with me if she finds out about everything.
Consider yourself lucky if all that she does is break up with you. But you had her believing that your relationship would end in marriage one day. Isn't that why she agreed to introduce you to her father? Unfortunately, though, you left out the detail that you were already married. She can probably sue you for that kind of deception.
I never meant to keep lying to her. It's just that I was never able to figure out the best timing to bring it up. And after some time, it was just too late to even mention it.
You're really hopeless, you know? And I'm no expert, but she may be entitled to claim compensation for damages, so you should probably be prepared for the worst.
My life is over.
What are you whining about? You brought all of this onto yourself. Anyways, I hope that you're going to show up to the family meeting that we're about to have now. Your mother is already here, and the rest of your relatives are already on their way, so you better make your way over here quickly. Oh, and if you try and turn your back on this again, I'll show you that your life can end up worse than it is now.
Okay, I get it. I'll be home soon. I promise.
After that, Sean showed up at home, just like he promised. And in front of his mother and all of his relatives, he agreed to getting a divorce. I bet the cold, stabbing stares from his family were more than he could bear, because he hardly made any complaints or tried to demand anything from me. It was very reassuring for me to have everyone on my side. On top of everything she had already done for me, his mother even called a lawyer to be present for this family meeting. And because of his presence, we were able to discuss the details of our settlement right on the spot. In the end, I was able to get $20,000 for damages, as well as $80,000 as child support from him. With hardly any savings of his own, Sean had to beg his mother and relatives for a loan, because the agreement was that he should pay the full amount in one installment. In addition, his girlfriend ended up suing him for defamation, and he was ordered to pay for damages once again. As you can imagine, he was left without a penny to his name. And unfortunately for him, it didn't all end there. Somehow, rumors about our divorce and the reasons behind it started to spread around his office. After some time, he started to feel out of place and couldn't help feeling more and more ashamed about his behavior. Unable to put up with feeling so inferior among his colleagues, he ended up giving his resignation notice shortly afterwards. Since then, he's moved back in with his parents, and under their supervision, is working several part-time jobs to try and pay back his debt. Or at least, that's what his mother told me the last time we spoke with each other. On the other hand, I'm slowly adjusting to being a single parent, which is much harder than I ever could have imagined. But every bump in the road helps build a stronger bond between me and my daughter, so it's all worth it in the end. Most importantly, our life is much calmer and more peaceful without that inconsiderate ex-husband around. I wish that one day, I will be able to completely erase his existence from my memory. But until then, I plan to enjoy the biggest and most beautiful joy that's sleeping so innocently in my arms right now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to see more content. See you next time.